block. Just a show of hands here. How many of you are familiar with TIP, which is Trauma Intervention Program? Okay, so not too many. The handouts there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about who we are, what we do, and I'm going to go through the handouts in the order I think that I gave them to you. TIP is a national nonprofit organization that was started 32 years ago by a mental health professional out of Vista, Wayne Horton. And what he discovered was that a lot of the clients that he was seeing who had suffered traumatic events, the complaint was always the same. It was the secondary injury. It was the client's perception of how the emergency system had treated them. So a light bulb went on and he decided, you know what? Why don't we try to set up a group of volunteers that can go out and assist first responders in providing emotional and practical support to the victims, or I should say the survivors of the trauma. This way, while the first responders are busy taking care of the scene, these people are being cared for emotionally and practically. And that way, they wouldn't suffer that so-called secondary injury. So we are a nonprofit organization. Right now, TIP has 16 chapters nationwide. Our chapter is basically staffed by all volunteer-based, except for one, which is your salary person, the person that runs the individual chapters. Our volunteers go through a 55-hour emotional first aid training. And after the 55 hours, they do a 3-month field training where they're out on the field, they go on calls, they have a sponsor, a mentor assigned to them, and then after the 3 months, they graduate. What we do is we provide the emotional and practical support. So the emotional support is something that if you have empathy, everybody can do it. We do it daily with our friends and family. However, you know, we are filled with cliches and things like that that we tell people who are suffering. What we do with our training, we cover the 5 emotional first aid skills, and we basically untrain you. We untrain our volunteers to not use the cliches that we normally use. As an example, a lot of times we don't know what to say, so let's say someone who's lost a baby, you know, we're really, really sorry. Well, you're young, you can have more children later on. I know that, you know, I didn't think about it, and you're telling someone that. So this is the kind of training we do with the emotional first aid. We also provide the practical support in the way of resource guides, which have a lot of information about everything they could possibly need in the area, from mortuaries to crematoriums and all of the emergency responders' addresses and phone numbers, as well as we are trained by the first responders, because the first week of our training academy is the emotional first aid part, but the second week of our training academy is all first responders coming in and teaching our volunteers how to work effectively with the system. The areas that we cover, the first page that I gave you there, as you can see, we have a wide area that we cover. We cover 7 different cities and 5 different hospitals and the unincorporated areas surrounding those cities. So just to give you an idea, we cover from Duluth on the 15 freeway all the way north to the unincorporated areas of South Corona. Then we go east to Anza and Awanga. We go east to Menifee, Paris, the unincorporated areas of North Paris, which is like the Lake Matthews and all that area. And we also go to the unincorporated areas of Hemet and San Jacinto. We do not serve the city of Hemet, and we do not serve the city of Corona. They have their own chapter. The Corona chapter serves the city only, 1 hospital, 1 fire department, and 1 police department. On the sheet that I gave you, it has all of the Riverside Sheriff's offices, the stations that we cover. And basically, it's all of whatever that station responds to, that's where we go. We also go to some special circumstances calls, and those calls could be anything. If any of those stations call us to, let's say, a special circumstance out of the area, we assess, we figure out who the volunteer on call is, if the volunteer can go. If the volunteer can't go, then usually one of us will go. But we will take sometimes, depending on the situation, out of the area call. This past year alone, we've been called out to special circumstances involving actually assisting first responders and their families, either due to suicide, due to accident, things like that. How we're funded. So we are funded by the cities that we serve. Not all of them yet, some of them. We also get funding from donations, and we do a once a year Heroes with Heart Awards dinner. This is our biggest fundraiser, and what we do with that dinner is we award the first responders that have gone above and beyond the line of duty. As an example, recently we had an officer who went on a call, and it was an elderly lady whose husband had died. Her main complaint was, what am I going to do now? He's done everything for me his whole life. I don't even know how to pump gas. Well, these calls take several hours, and towards the end of the call, he took her outside, show her how to open her gas tank, show her how to unlock it, how to do things, and then ask her, what is your favorite color, yellow or blue? So she said yellow. He said, follow me. He takes her over to a Shell gas station and shows her how to pump gas. So this is the first responder who has gone above and beyond. So our awards dinner covers responders and lay citizens as well that have done something heroic. That's our biggest fundraiser. The other ways that we raise funds is we at times get hired at Rotary's RILA event once a year, and we do a little bit of a emotional first aid training for the students. Sponsors for the events, donors, we would love to get partnerships, donors online, and then also training. If you have a company that has a lot of employees, you can get a team of 2 people, and we can go in there and we can do a weekend crash course on emotional first aid, and they can be your in-house tip volunteers as well. So this is some of the ways that we raise money. We hold training academies 2 to 3 times a year, and the next training academy schedule is one of the handouts that I've given you. We need to recruit large, and we need to recruit wide, because as you can see, we serve a lot of cities. Our goal is to arrive at our call within 20 minutes from being called out by the first responders. Because of the way this whole area that we serve is set up, that's not always possible. As you know, if it's rush hour traffic, you could be going 8 miles and it'll take you 45 minutes to get there, especially Temecula, Railroad Canyon, Winchester. But if we recruit wide and we recruit volunteers, a lot of volunteers in the different areas, when we dispatch someone out, we can see, okay, this person is closer to that call, and we can do that. Right now we have 24 volunteers, and our goal for our area is to get to at least 50. The other thing is, goals for 2017, we want to expand. We have had, since we go to South Corona, we have had the Jurupa station that covers Eastvale, Norco, Jurupa Valley. They want us up there, but until we have enough volunteers here, we can't even start to think about expanding up there. We have many different areas that have called out They want us to start a chapter. Palm Desert was another one that has contacted. So yes, we want to grow, but we have to do it in spurts, and until we're solid here, we can't go there. And that means solid with volunteers as well as with finances. The other goal is, once we have enough volunteers here, we want to be able to roll out our NODA program, which stands for No One Dies Alone. And the NODA program would be something where a volunteer would be called out by a hospital who has someone on their deathbed without family, or even the Veterans Hospital, someone who's in their last few hours or last few days and has no family. We would have a volunteer go and sit with that person and visit with that person for a few hours, and we can exchange volunteers and talk people with those individuals. And that's something that we really, really want to get rolled out as soon as possible. So once we have enough of a volunteer base, we'll be doing that. And the other thing we do have, since I have some school people here, we do have a TIP teen program, and our teens get trained just like the adults. They go through the same training and they go through the same calls. The teens are very effective on calls. They're effective when we go on a call and there's children. They're also very effective when we go on a call and there's elderly, because the elderly seem to really go towards the young ones. We just hired our first teen volunteer, just graduated from the class a week ago. And she's studying to be a mental health professional, so she thought this would be a great thing to do. With the teens, we do sign them off when they go on calls. We sign that off as community service time. So keep that in mind, guys. We'd love to have some, huh?
What are the ages we're putting up?
16 and up, yes. And so right now, that's kind of what I have for you all. Does anybody have any questions? Kim?
Can you just talk a little bit real quick about what the typical shift would be for
Yes. Our volunteers' commitment is 3 shifts a month, and our shifts are 12-hour shifts. They're from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. The other commitment is 1 continuing education meeting a month. Those meetings are held the first Thursday of the month. We do have liability insurance that we carry, and those meetings are mandatory because it keeps our policy enforced. Other than that, we give our volunteers opportunities to do other things to help with fundraising, to be dispatchers, to be trainers. Gigi is my assistant. She's also a national trainer. And there's many, many aspects of running the chapter, and our volunteers are all encouraged to be involved in as many different areas as possible. Any other questions?